Hey, who's got two thumbs and forgot that the Super Bowl was going to air a whole bunch of trailers? Or that the Super Bowl was even happening? This person. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to do all these trailers. But there are a couple of them that I am going to do. And we're going to start with The Flash. Now, this begs the question, am I actually going to see The Flash when it comes out? Short answer is right now, I don't know. Because on the one hand, I'm kind of morbidly fascinated by how the heck this is going to turn out. But on the other hand, Ezra Miller and they appear to have gotten into rehab and are getting help, but I would really love some more time to get some confidence that that's going to stick, before actually putting money towards a project that if it's successful enough, they might be continue to be gainfully employed when really they probably shouldn't be working right now. I don't know. I say that as someone who doesn't actually know the full scope of their issues, and I'm not going to try and armchair diagnose them because I find that practice kind of gross. But I don't know. My comfort level is bleh. But again, I am morbidly curious. And the very least I can do to try and sate that morbid curiosity is to check out this first trailer. Because I'm pretty sure everything we've gotten up to now has just been teaser material. So, let's take a look.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere.
Oh, they're putting in Keaton's voice right off the bat.
Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again.
Oh, they really are doing Flashpoint, aren't they? I'm not a fan of Flashpoint as a storyline, for the record.
That it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
Okay, so we've got multiple
If you were to go
berries.
into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
Oh, Affleck's in this too?
I completely broke the universe.
Okay.
Sorry.
We've been waiting for you.
Oh.
I created a world with no metahumans.
Oh.
And now there's no one to defend us.
They did go all out. Ha-ha! Oh, God. Let me see him. Oh!
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Yeah! Dang it! Ah, they got me. Son of a... Oh.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
What the...
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry. Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
I've got so many questions. Starting with, does the inclusion of Supergirl, is that from the original version or from the reshoots? Because if I were to guess, and maybe it's out there in an article somewhere, but I haven't checked. If I were to guess, Supergirl is a reshoots edition, and they will reuse the actress, if not that specific iteration of the character, for the already announced Supergirl movie. Because if that's not the case, and this is a holdover from how it was always intended to be, then that's going to rub people up the wrong way, especially if they end up liking this Supergirl, then they recast a whole new one after that. I don't know. That could go really badly. If I were to guess, though, I would not be shocked if the original version of this had Henry Cavill as Superman, and the reshoots, once they realized they weren't going to be keeping him around, because they had reshoots on this thing actually pretty dang recently even. But if they realized they weren't going to keep him around and that they were going to do this Supergirl project, maybe they slotted her in instead. That's guesswork on my part. I have no idea. The degree to which I've wanted to look into the behind the scenes on this is limited at this point. But okay, so beyond that, I won't lie, it caught my attention with how much he's interacting directly with the past events that we've already seen. If this is truly going to be a closing out of the previous version of the universe, whether you consider that the Snyderverse or not, it's an easier way to talk about it, even though I know, like, it's muddy because control was lost and all this. But in any case, interacting with the older stuff, that's a good way to close it out. I mean, that's part of why, even though the franchise continued after this, is part of why X-Men Days of Future Past would have been a very good way to end the X-Men franchise. And I sometimes wish they had. Like, Logan still works as standalone. Deadpool works as standalone. The next two X-Men movies, But in any case, like, that sort of, here's the past. We're going to touch on this, but here's how it's all going to change, or here's how we're going to tie off this version of things. Yeah, that could work. I did find it interesting that we don't have a villain as yet. We've got obstacles for sure. Like, there's freaking Zod right there. So that leads me to one of two possible scenarios. The one that I think would be better, and the one I suspect they actually did. What I think would be better would be that there is no villain. There is no overarching villain to this. The villain is the situation. You treat it like a time and dimension jumping disaster movie where Barry caused this big ripple effect, these changes, and he has to undo them. It's not at anybody's machinations. There's no overriding villain. The situation is dire enough that we don't need someone to be pulling the strings. That is what I would prefer. I don't think that a major Hollywood studio would sink this much money into a superhero movie especially, that did not have a concrete definitive villain, for that to be the case. So I expect one of the two Barrys is going to end up being the villain. Because usually in this, we're dealing with some version of Professor Zoom, or something of that nature. Since we have not seen that, I think assuming one of the two Barrys is the villain, that feels like an easy guess. Oh, potential spoiler, if I'm right, I suppose. Sorry. They got me. They got me with Michael Keaton. They got me with him saying I'm Batman. Like, that's a cheap hit of nostalgia. But god damn it, it worked. I hate that stuff works on me. I want to be immune to that. I want to be immune to the cheap nostalgic pop, but I'm not. I'm just not. But it's more promising than I thought it would be. I did mention I don't like Flashpoint, just as a story in general. I tend to find parallel universe, alternate timeline stories not great in the first place. That's part of why I perked up when we see him jumping across events that we've already happened. So we're not just dealing with, here's an alternate timeline where things are different. He's also interacting with past events. That's more interesting. Because just the general, oh, and the world is kind of different or a lot different or whatever, I don't find that a particularly interesting story is the first thing. And the second is trying to sell Barry doing all of this for his mother is tough when we don't really know anything about her other than what little he's said. I don't even remember what little he said in the previous film that he was in. So it's the kind of move like uprooting all of time and space for a character. To my way of thinking, you should be doing that for a character that the audience has an investment in, because otherwise we just have to go, oh, well, he's doing it for his mom. Okay, well, that's an abstract concept to me. And it makes it seem stupid. Like, I understand that it matters to Barry, but like I have no investment in his mother. So it's the kind of thing that tends to make me go, oh, okay, so it doesn't really matter who this is for. It's an excuse to start the plot. All right. And I mean, sometimes, an excuse that starts the plot of a good product is, I guess, not the worst thing in the world. But first of all, we don't know if this is good yet. And second of all, like, you'd rather do something that isn't just an excuse to do it. I don't know. But that's just part of my general hang-ups with Flashpoint. It also doesn't help that Flashpoint led to the New 52 in the comics, and the New 52 was awful. But that's not necessarily that story's fault. Yeah. That's decently put together. That's, I would say, one of the better trailers I've seen for a DC property in a while. And that's even like going all the way back. Because like even the first Wonder Woman, I thought those trailers were terrible. I was convinced that movie was going to suck. It didn't. Trailers for the second one looked pretty good, and that one was kind of a mess. A fun mess. I actually do enjoy that movie, but I won't defend it. But I don't know. And like I said, I still don't know how I'll feel about going to the theater to see this. Got a couple of months to go. We'll see where I'm at. But as far as the trailer goes, yeah, that's a pretty solid trailer. Yeah, I got to admit that. I got to give him that. What did you think about this? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and allows me to afford to do this as my living and forget that the Super Bowl happens because I don't have to go to a day job where a bunch of my coworkers would be reminding me all the time, oh, Super Bowl this weekend. That's why I forget. But in any case, even if you can't support me that way, like, share, subscribe. Those help me out. But don't worry too much about it. We take a relaxed attitude around here so you can come on back next time you need a break. And now my thanks to my highest supporters on Patreon. Robin Moore, Zubin Lutfula, Tarak, the thing that goes doink in the anime, Oliver B., Melinda Walters, Emu Delkey, Leotha Boyd, Becky Sparks, Fernabulax, the Poodle, Tracy Scrabbit, Angry Casperl, Tim Price, Adam R.D.L. Taylor, Shayla Gourlay, and Rosalind Bennett. Thanks for your support. And if you want to get your name in the credits, check out the rewards on the Patreon.